Hello and welcome to episode 20.
I didn't check the
I think it is 20.
Is it really?
I think it is because 19 was Kickstarter.
Let me pull out my phone and check real quick because
Kickstarter Our Hearts.
That should be more monumental than just
episode 20. Welcome to springtime.
Episode 20. Yeah, I walked
Quintero.
over here to Brady's house and didn't realize it was so windy, so my hair's kind of got a beehive going on here.
We are Twin Tail Studios. If you can tell from my shirt, I'd spin around and show you the back, but it might be awkward. But it's the logo. It's this logo.
I didn't wear mine. I'm sweaty though.
These are our convention shirts. They'll probably be in matching color. And if you're not seeing this through your earballs on your stereo, we also are on YouTube. You can check out our video on YouTube, and we talk and we show things like my.
Everybody's seen it. Nobody cares.
Does
anybody who watches this or listen to this care about that?
This specifically? Not
one.
mine, but
Okay.
theirs probably. But this is the only thing that gets me.
Don't finish that sentence.
This is the only thing that gets me any activity on Threads. People only care about talking about my retro handhelds. Anyway, we're Twin Tail Studios. This is our podcast. We talk about the political news.
That is not funny. It is old.
But I want to talk about.
Nope. It's
we talk about our board games, our books.
honestly, I think this podcast should shift more into just what we started with, which is talking about things we like playing and watching.
That's what it is.
Like, yeah,
That's what it is.
We just spend too much time talking about our company. It's like I don't care about that. Do you care about that? I don't care about that.
There's been a lot to cover since the transition from GameFound to Kickstarter. But yeah, now that we're kind of in a waiting game because we're launching the Kickstarter.
Company news.
April 7th are going to be our launch date. I'm guessing maybe 10 a.m. Eastern.
I mean, usually it's noon. But
I don't like waiting until noon. Well, sometime early day, midday.
No, you don't have to watch. You'll get an email. So,
but yeah, day one backers.
If you're following it, make sure you're following.
Go follow it. Here's a few little updates. We gotta get these out of the way early on every episode. I'm Brady Sadler. I'm your main host, the person you're here to hear
and I'm
from.
Adam Sadler, your primary host. The reason you want to listen to this podcast.
Exactly. And what I want to tell you is you can go follow our social media accounts. If you're not following those, it's useful for random drops of news. But we have a mailing list. You can go to twintailstudios.com, sign up for our mailing list. You can get a free copy of In Short Order, which is the kind of prequel novelette before the Malice. This takes place 20 years before the Malice of Light. So you can get this for free if you just sign up for our mailing list. That's how you can kind of keep up with news. But also, you'll want to sign up because it'll be a good reminder for you to go follow the Kickstarter. Because if you're following the Kickstarter page, day one backers will get all three of the novels in ebook format for free. For just backing on day one. Typically, you can get those as a bundle for $10, which is still a reduced price, which is great. You get all three books, $10 as an add-on. But if you back on day one, you get all this for free. So that's pretty cool. You can also buy the actual physical books, which I recommend you do. I will reach for them. So if you've seen this episode, if you've seen this podcast before, you'll this is old news also, but these are the deluxe hardcover editions. They have illustrations in there. This awesome sturdy slipcase. So those will be available on the Kickstarter as well. But those are the main news. So sign up for the mailing list. Go follow the Kickstarter page so you can get day one goodies. That's all I have to say.
And even if you're like I think we had like over 4,800 followers on GameFound originally when we launched. I think it's dropped down to like 4,300 now since we canceled the GameFound. But of those, we've only had like a small percentage of those actually come over to Kickstarter. I'm not sure if people listening to this, don't back projects on Kickstarter anymore, or how are your feelings about that. But we mentioned it before where we will have the pledge manager on GameFound, so hopefully those people will still be able to take part in the campaign. However, we do need to fund first, so hopefully we get more people following along on the Kickstarter. We should have some nice little plugs during the launch, but we still want to have a really healthy follower count before launch. So, we're not basing the launch date strictly on that, but it is a factor where it's a numbers game. We want to make sure we fund right away. People, we've talked about this before, people like to back things that are successful. Speaking of successful, did you see this? I think it's like up to $11 million now, this Cyberpunk LCG.
I haven't seen it yet. I saw somebody mention it, but
is it
the video game or?
I think I mean, it's Cyberpunk, yeah. Don't talk into the mic. You can just do this if you're going to do that. He's lecturing his young son about picking up his trash, and he's not getting all of it. So anyway, there was a Cyberpunk
on what Kickstarter? What platform?
TCG on Kickstarter. It's the number one funded TCG ever on Kickstarter.
It beat Altered or whatever it's called.
Yeah. So I think it was up to 11 million or something like that.
We'll do some live check-ins here. We'll do some live updates on this.
But yeah, just go to show you the Kickstarter. No, it's yellow. It's bright yellow. You can't miss it. It goes to show you that people still use Kickstarter. So
is this a new publisher you said?
It's their first game. 12 million up to $12 million.
Is it co-op?
And look at the number of backers. How many number of backers were there?
15,000 backers.
15,000. So like that's averaging around almost like $900,000 per backer.
Wow. Is it a co-op game or is it just?
I don't think so.
That's why for that much.
I don't know. It's also I think it's because not only because of the IP, but I think also people get into this TCGs early to try to make money on the resale market and everything.
That's why that Altered one did so well because people thought it was going to be a big hit.
That pledge right there, $2,800 for that pledge level.
Jeez, dude. I'll have to look into this.
You must really have to like Cyberpunk. Maybe Scotty likes that.
I love card games, but yeah, when it comes to just like competitive games, like I know Lorcana was a big one recently, and I mean that's Disney, so it's kind of got like that going for it. But I couldn't get that into it. Like I never got that into Magic either because I just don't like the head-to-head stuff as much. But that's remarkable. It's remarkable for them.
We're trying to also branch out from just the standard ads and things like that to try to get followers. We want to kind of engage with people. I actually today I had some time, so I made a post on a Facebook group, which I don't normally do because I don't post on social media very much anymore. But there's a board game, I think Board Game Revolution community, I believe it's called. It's a board game Facebook group. I made a post there. I was very nervous to do it because I never like to open up to certain conversations I don't want to have about.
This is where Adam and I differ greatly because
he's
pretty reserved online.
But anyway, it was good because it was very I kind of made a post introducing myself, like in our company, people might not know about us, and it wasn't really just to plug the Kickstarter, but I did provide a link in the comments for people who wanted to check it out. But I was really just kind of getting some feedback about people's thoughts on like pledging for games that are just, they don't have stretch goals. They just, here's a game, this is what you're getting, back it or not. And there is a strong strong sense that one of the primary things people go to back things for is either to get it cheaper or to get it like exclusive stuff.
In the comments right now, you're saying
there's quite a few of them that were like, they were saying that. I mean, there was a lot of comments. They don't care about stretch goals at all. It doesn't matter. They just back stuff that they're like back. But there's also people that live in like the EU, have to deal with VAT and all the stuff where even if it's a game like ours, which is not super expensive, it will be expensive for VAT. It'll be more expensive than if you bought it retail. So they have to have a reason to want to back it, which is totally valid. So we're approaching it from the premise of we're going to offer it discounted from what we expect the MSRP to be if it goes to retail. Again, this game's not guaranteed to go to retail because we doesn't exist yet. So so I made a post. It actually got some good engagement, lots of comments, some nice civilized conversation, which is nice. No real attacks or anything, but I also got quite a few followers out of it, which was cool. So I think it was a fruitful conversation.
Yeah, I mean stuff like that. I'm not sure how many people that are listening have to deal with like self-marketing or like social media marketing. Like it's just such a,
it sucks.
Yeah, I mean for a variety of reasons, it's not fun. It's just like
especially when you've been a part of something, a publisher who is done bad things, and you are associated with that publisher,
and like it almost doesn't matter that what you did before then. Like we were working for FFG and like Cryptozoic, and but it's the hard part is like you're a small team, like it's just the two of us, and someone's got to market, and it's like no matter what you're doing, you're talking about yourself and you're trying to sell things, and there's that whole resistance, which I find weird because like I don't often engage with like communities where it's like I'm here to sell something. It's more like I want to share something. I'm like, here's something cool I want to talk about. I might be involved with it. I've been making it, but it's like I'm not here just to sell it. But that's the perception. It's always like people think that they're always getting sold to, and it's hard because I just want to tell people, hey, this is a cool book. You want to read this? I'll give it to you for free. Just read it. But people,
I think the most challenging thing too is with this game in particular is that like we've said this before, we genuinely feel like it's the best game we've designed, but it's like it also just feels like marketing speak where it's of course you're going to say that because you're trying to
it's hype the newest one. It's the next one.
But yeah, I'm excited to get this to people and try to find new ways to talk about it without just feeling like I'm, hawking it or something. It's tough, but I feel like that was successful. Whereas opening up the conversation to opinions and like getting insight about why people back, because I'm genuinely curious, because I know that I have an old school mentality when it comes to crowdfunding. Like when it first came out, it's like you put an idea up and people wanted to see it happen, they jump on board. Nowadays it's evolved a lot. Like so many people put up so many games and there's just so much stuff to pick and choose from.
It's funny too. Everyone's got different filters they use. Like I'm not a savvy backer. I say that I probably am because I've just been so involved with it. But if I go on a crowdfunding site, I can easily sift through almost everything and find like the one or two things that I want. But I think there are people out there who just like feel compelled to back everything they see, or like they can't like filter the noise out. Well, and I just don't have a problem doing that. So
it also might be a lack of, they don't want to spend the time to do the research. They just want to get something cool or whatever. But that's kind of what I wanted. The audience we're going for is people that just like our games and they want more games from us, because that's what this project is. It's like, yes, it's a game, but it's also kind of our entry into making games ourselves and showing people how we treat our games. And I think one of the thing that I posted on there, one of the reasons why we started the company is like very true. It's like we just have designed so many games that are not available for people to purchase.
That's the crux of why we started the company. So
I think of the most recent ones, Freedom 5 and Earthborn Rangers are the two we've been involved with that are available to purchase, I think. But most other things
and those were kind of unique, where they're like kind of more part of a design team.
Yeah, we're on a team, and
yes.
And I will admit that like Earthborn Rangers evolved a lot. Like we were involved very early on with that game.
It kind of just like the alpha, like kind of the alpha build. We had to step away after that, but
not really step away. Just they took on people to work on it internally. So.
Yeah. I'm just saying we were no longer involved in the development of it, but that in it, Freedom 5, we were, contributing, like you're part of a team, you contribute ideas, and that's cool and all, but it's not how we're used to working.
Yeah, I think the focus of the Freedom 5 was us bringing in the whole deck concept.
Yeah.
Richard seemed to really like that. So.
Yeah. And Richard's good to work with because he loves to just run with things. And he's got his whole what do you call it? Like the prototypes he puts out are almost like pre-production samples, almost, because they're very nice. All the art and graphics together, and he goes to town on them. And
that is an important thing. Is you make the game as close to final as possible, so people can get the experience of what it's like to play the game. It's important. It kind of sucks that we're always using Tabletop Simulator, but it's just so effective.
It also sucks because it's like we're marketing for Tabletop Simulator, TTS, Twin Title Studios.
But we can't even market for ourselves, so I'm not sure we're doing much for them. So,
go ahead. You were saying something. You said
I was going to change the subject, but
I was going to change the subject first. I was going to say
you get dibs.
I want to talk about some games. Some games that have been going on lately, because I think I mentioned it last episode. We were talking about kind of like tedium in board games, like.
You made me play Stonesaga again.
I was going to talk about Stonesaga. I've been playing a lot of Stonesaga, so that's been pretty much on my table for the last 2 weeks, off and on, between me and my wife playing, and then we played with Mitch, a 3-player game. I played with my daughter.
I didn't really get an idea if he liked the game or not. I didn't ask him. But.
Well, when the attention's changed to Arkham Horror, I feel like that just replaced it. So even if he was interested, it's like, which is like that segues into something else I want to talk about, because Arkham Horror is coming back. Chapter 2's already shipped, I think. My copy already shipped for the new core set. But yeah, Stonesaga, my thoughts on this, because I heard this came up in the discussion on another podcast I listened to called Secret Cabal. I've mentioned them before.
This is the third episode that we've talked about this. This is getting a lot of
airtime. Stonesaga? Yeah, Stonesaga. It's hot. This is what people do. People talk about these hot games that people talk about, and they're part of the conversation.
How do you feel about technology? What does it make you feel about it?
Dead air. But my thoughts on Stonesaga are like kind of complete now, I think. Like I'm not done with the game because I haven't finished it. Like I'm almost done with the first epoch. But I understand a lot of these critical reviews I've been reading about the crafting system, which you're familiar with now, where you take these 2 tokens and you can put them in different configurations, and you get a code and you look up at the code on the codex.
I like it.
It is a lot of steps, especially when a lot of times it says nothing. You made nothing. Those things don't work together. And it's like I I think a lot of people maybe want that experience, but like that's probably one thing that's dragging the game down for me, because I like a lot of the map exploration. I like the idea of building up the civilization. I don't love the theme. I'm not into the prehistoric, like kind of. It's like a prehistoric fantasy.
I also
theme.
don't like the cave painting thing. I didn't enjoy that. But
Yeah,
also, didn't you say that there was like an 80-some page errata for that?
There's an 84. Well, it's deceptive, but yeah, there's like 84 page FAQ errata. But it's and I hate even saying that because people use that as like a big knock against it. But if you look at the errata, like some of the pages are to avoid spoilers. It's an entire page with just one line of text because you don't want to have any spoilers. So
okay.
So there's
but
like
that's the first thing I think about when I see somebody make a game like with that much stuff.
And that's not to take away. That's not to take away that there is a lot of things that need to be addressed. But you saw how big the game is. It's a huge.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, the first thing I thought of was like, man, I just can see that there's going to be so many potential errers in this game. Where
in
our playthrough with Mitch, I think there was 3 times where we were going to an entry that it was the wrong number.
Yeah,
And I was like,
you kind of have to guess. Like you just look at the first couple.
I was reading something that was like the wrong thing, and I was like, oh, that's a spoiler.
And it's one of those things where I being in the industry, it's like I can forgive these things just to move the game along, but it is kind of a bummer with a game that requires that much immersion and that much like specificity, because it's one of these thematic games where the theme is almost dependent upon all the analog things that are at the table, like this huge thick codex that tells all the narrative and stuff, because a lot of things are doing in the actual gameplay, the mechanics, like the physicality of the game doesn't tell the story as much. In some games you'll play where like you don't need the actual narrative at all. You can just like kind of distill what's going on. There's a lot of Euro games that do that really well, where whatever you're doing on the board or the table, it kind of tells a story. But I think the Stonesaga kind of requires that narrative, and if it breaks, it's like it's kind of makes you just not want to stop playing the game.
Yeah, and people think I might be like poo poo in this game or something, but I always have this discussion with Brady where it's like I never like to say games are bad, because like there's lots of people, if somebody enjoys a game, it's not bad. Somebody found enjoyment. Brady feels like he can say that some games are bad, which is his opinion.
That was a different discussion. You know what I was saying.
I'm not talking about that game. I'm talking about games in general. Like you said before,
I'm talking about designs. There are designs that are bad.
So he can say it. See, he says
there are designs that are bad. There are bad design choices that you can make.
But anyway, I just want to make it clear. Like I don't like to say things are bad. Like I don't like. It's not for me. Like I'm not having fun with it, so I don't want to play it. But the thing is, I usually feel like I can kind of enjoy games even if I don't like them. When I'm playing with people, just social situation, just hanging out. But that one, it was hard for me. Like it's hard for me to engage with, and like I also just don't like reading things in books and games. Like I just don't like
that's something I struggle with too, because like what we're going to talk about, what I'm going to talk about later is the Arkham Horror, because we're going to be playing that soon, and I've been getting back into that, and that's one of the big things against that, because that requires a lot of reading, and I don't always want to do that. But I do like the themes.
It's so funny though, because like I go back to this all the time, but like Arydia is a good example of like a narrative game, but like I loved pulling a card out and like reading a little sentence and like, have a little dialogue or whatever, and then put the card away. But that's it. It wasn't just like, flip to this book and find this entry. I don't like that.
Yeah, breaking up story, like with games, the more you can break a story up is the better. And I think that's part of why I'm not pulled back into Stonesaga as many times. Because like I went through a phase where I was playing it. Me and Sarah were like wanting to play it a lot, and I also played, I think, but I don't think I have that pull anymore. I feel like I got my time out of it. And this isn't like a review show. We don't like review board games. Sometimes we might like kind of pass.
It's just our take on things. We don't like to, because we're not gonna recommend things or like
because somebody asked on our Discord, which if you're not on our Discord, go join our Discord. It's great. But somebody was asking what my thoughts were on Stonesaga. And it's like it's hard for me to say, because I enjoyed it. Like I'm gotten like my money's worth of it. I think I enjoyed playing it enough where I don't regret getting it. But I don't think I'm going to play it a lot. So like I don't want to tell somebody, go get that game. You have to get it, because I know it's going to hit for them. It's all relative. But I will say, also, it's an impressive product. It's like such a beautiful product. Whoever was all involved, I know Max Brook was involved with it. I think it was Luke Eddy was one of the developers who worked at FFG, I believe. And then
Max did, I think, but Luke did it too.
I don't know. The name
was after my time.
Yeah, the name just sounded familiar, but
it's been so long. It's been like so long since I.
And Brendan at Open Owl, like he's usually involved in all the games, but it's a great undertaking, awesome product. So it's just like I don't want to give my review of the game, but there are things that I it made me realize when we were having the game with 3-player game with Mitch, and after we were done, instead of talking about what we just played, we started talking about Arkham Horror, and that got me like thinking a lot about how much I miss playing that game, because it's been a while. Like I haven't played that game probably for a year or something. It's been sitting on the shelf. I missed out on the Feast of Hemlock, which if anybody who's listening knows where I can get a copy of those 2 expansions, let me know, because apparently they're really rare. So if you happen to know of a lead where I can get the Feast of Hemlock Investigator expansion and campaign expansion, those probably aren't getting reprinted. So I'm gonna be crap out of luck if I can't find them. But we are starting a campaign. So when this episode comes out, we'll be doing a campaign tonight, which I'm pretty excited about. We're doing the Circle Undone, which I don't think you've played before. But that one's kind of cool because it has this, if anybody hasn't played Arkham Horror, it's a cooperative collectible card game. It's got this kind of tactical element where you're exploring a map, and it's like an RPG where your character is your deck. So you're constantly upgrading your deck, buying new cards, and like evolving your investigator, trying to solve some big scary mystery. The one we're playing though is it's in this Silver Twilight Lodge. And the intro is like a prologue where you're not playing as your investigator. You're playing as like one of the attendees of this party. So you have like this fixed hand of cards, and you're just like it's a great tutorial. I think that's why I wanted to play it, because Mitch has never played the game. So it's a good like learning experience where we'll play this kind of short prologue, and then we'll make our characters, then play a real campaign.
I was gonna make some joke about your circle undone, like your circle done?
It's undone
because I couldn't get his freaking word in
for about okay.
It was like
let's
like
backtrack
10 minutes. I think.
Was it Stonesaga or was it Arkham Horror?
No, I was gonna mention that going back to like the whole Arydia thing when we were talking about the indexes of cards versus like entries. I think one of the reasons why it works so well in Arydia is not just because it's like a card, but also because you're pulling something to like take on a role of somebody, and like you're gonna have a little narrative, like I gotta speak in some weird voice if I want to or whatever. Like it's not just like reading an entry, you're actually just reading dialogue, which is kind of cool.
It's kind of weird where it's like a tactile thing where that card is like your costume. Here's your costume. You're this character, and like it's like your mask you got to put on, and
so many times people want to do it. Like it's weird because usually people don't want to read, but if like for some reason if I'm playing this character I could read. But
it's funny too because on the marketing text of that, like when that game was on Kickstarter, that sounded like the worst part of the game to me. It's like I don't want to be like a party role playing thing, but it's like it's hard to deny. That's like a really appealing thing. It's like it's part of the experience
because it also takes no thought, because it's like it tells a little description about the person, so you can kind of just figure out and see the piece of art. It's like, I'm going to pretend to be this blacksmith guy or whatever.
It's almost why there's that whole appeal to games like those murder mystery games where people just get you get a character. Here's this character. You're what's that guy's name on the Office one?
Buford.
Something Buford. I forget. Or it's like the Michael Scott's character. I always forget the name, but.
God, it's been a while since I watched
It's that like that.
This is my life. Speaking of tabletop stuff.
Dead air.
Speaking of tabletop stuff, I finally got to pre-order the High Elves for Blood Bowl. I have been waiting for this team since 2016 when Blood Bowl was re-released by Games Workshop. I think 2015 maybe, but it's been like 10 years since they finally released the High Elf team.
Don't tell me about that. I've been waiting for the Halflings for like 20 years, and they still haven't released yet.
What are you talking about? They came out 5 years ago.
I know. GW has been spoiling me, and I'm still not happy because
they came out 6 years before the High Elves. That's crazy. Yeah. But anyway, like if I was like sitting there at 12:45 waiting for the 1 p.m. store to open up, and I was like refreshing, making sure I could get it before it went out of stock. I grabbed the dice pack. The dice pack was the big one I wanted, but the dugout, because dice always sell out first. Got the dice, dugout, cards, miniatures, and I realized after I ordered them, I went back like 3 hours later and they were still in stock. So I was rushing for no reason, but excited about that. They should be coming in next week sometime maybe. But
this is kind of topical because I don't think you've actually looked at it much, but the One Stop Co-op Shop just reviewed the Dark Tide card game, and it said it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. I was considering getting it, but
it's very puzzling apparently.
Yeah, like I don't know, like I was considering getting it, but I forget who did it. Was it this Cubicle 7? Was it they released it? Right?
Yes, yeah. This, by the way, this is Warhammer 40K Dark Tide, the card game, which is based on Darktide, the video game, which is based on Skaven Tide,
or
the video
Vermintide.
Vermintide, that's it. Yeah, where it's like a Left 4 Dead style shooter, like PvE shooter, where it's first person. You're just mowing down a bunch of bad
They call
guys.
it a horde shooter. A horde shooter.
Call it a horde shooter. They call it a tower defense horde shooter. Defending a tower.
Darktide is awesome. Like if Darktide had third person option, I'd be playing it all the time.
I would too. Like that's the main thing holding me back. Like I joke about the whole rattling thing. I think it'd be cool if they added rattlings, but mainly it's just the third person thing.
They've added 2 new classes, which is pretty awesome. Like they have the Adeptus Arbites class, which is like the cops,
The Hive Scum,
and
or
then
something.
the Hive Scum. But like I swear, I've played lots of role playing games and things like that. But the character I made in Darktide is my favorite character I've ever made in a game. Like he's a zealot preacher guy. He's got like this thunder hammer and an auto gun. But like just running through there fighting, Nurgle demons with an auto gun and a hammer and preaching and stuff. It's like he's awesome. I love that character.
It's a cool game that I feel like they should be able to expand a lot more than they do. But I know they've been like.
It's funny when it was launching, they
things.
were like saying that they were going to have a battle pass and like all this stuff and nothing. It just nothing. And they finally starting to do some new content for it. Like I said, they have new classes. They just released an update where you leave the hive and go outside in the wasteland, which is cool. But again, like it's a tease because you play third person when you're in the hub, like the missionary where you're going around getting your gear and shopping and stuff. When you go into a mission, it's first person. But we've seen like mods and stuff online where people are playing third person mods. I don't play with mods, so I never do it. But it looks way more fun third person. So
it's a shame that they can't just do that one thing. But as far as video games go, because we were talking about video games,
I got lots of video games. So yeah,
you can go first because I was going to talk about something I played today. But go ahead.
No, you mentioned it.
I'm going to talk about Fire Emblem.
It better not be a long story.
It's not. Like I'm
bored already.
I've been trying to like reacquire a lot of because I used to have a ton of Game Boy Advance games back in the day. So I've been trying to remember all of the big hits that I never got around to playing. And it's weird because of all the Game Boy Advance games I'd never played any of the Fire Emblem games. And I think it's because I just don't have a high patience for turn-based stuff, which is funny because like I think we both think that way, but then we play a turn-based game like you're playing Tactics.
Don't spoil it.
Well, yeah, but like that's an example. It's like you don't think you want to play that, but when you play it, it's like you just can't stop.
Except for the Metal Slug one. I wanted to like that.
If Metal Slug was for like a portable system, I think I'd play it still.
I liked the idea of it, but it's just like I play a lot of tactics stuff, but that's just too much. Like there's too many.
There was a lot of granular stuff. But anyway, Fire Emblem 1 and 2. I think it's Fire Emblem something Blade, and then Fire Emblem Sacred Stones. I beat the.
Say that 3 times fast. Fire Emblem.
Binding Blade. I think it is Fire Emblem. I can't talk anyway, but Fire Emblem. The Binding Blade, I think it's called. That's the first one, and I just finished it. The boss fight is ridiculous. It's like this big dragon, and like you have to like level your guys up because if you haven't played Fire Emblem before, it's like it's got a big sprawling fantasy story. It's a little too much dialogue for my taste. I skip through a lot of it because it's a lot of like, oh, this king did something bad, and now he's working for this Dark Lord, and it's like all these different kingdoms and characters getting involved, and it's hard to keep all the names straight. It's worse than like a George R. R. Martin book, but the cool thing about the characters you play as, like the ones that join your company and you can fight in battles with, they have like a limited inventory space. So they only have like, 4 or 5 items they can have. So it's not a whole lot of inventory management, but it's still there for that. There's like a little bit of enjoyment when there's some inventory management. And then you have like, you can upgrade your roles. Like there's like the knight who can like get this sacred seal and become a paladin. And so you kind of like evolve your warriors kind of like Pokemon in a way. So that's all kind of cool. Plus there's permadeath where if you like lose a character, they're just gone. Like if somebody dies during a battle. So like 2 of the guys I loved fighting with, his name was Eric. He was like a wizard. He died. And it's funny when you beat the game, it'll go through the whole cast of characters and have like little updates about what they're doing in their lives now. But if they died, it'll say, oh, they died during chapter 12. It has like a little recap of how they died. Like so many of my guys died. It's like, oh, I lost a lot of guys. Dang.
So you suck at the game.
Yeah, I'm not very good at it. It took me forever to beat the boss. It was really hard, but really cool game. And I just started the sequel, Sacred Stones, and I can see why it's such a praised franchise. Like people love that game, and I see why now.
I think that I played that like the first. No, I'm thinking of Advanced War Tactics or something.
That's why I started playing. Because I played Advanced Wars for Game Boy Advance. I haven't played the second one yet, but the first one is like so good. It holds up so well. But anyone who references that game always like speaks about Fire Emblem being like the fantasy version. And it kind of is. Like, I think Advanced Wars is a little cleaner, it's a little faster to play, because Fire Emblem has a lot more granularity to like the inventory management, all the characters and stuff. But super cool, super fun game.
Man, I've been playing my Switch 2 like so much lately. I think I mentioned this before. I was playing Octopath Traveler 0, and I finally beat that game a couple days ago. So, because I was glad, because I just bought another game. I bought Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles, which is like the Nintendo Switch like remake of Final Fantasy Tactics.
The regular Final Fantasy Tactics for Game Boy Advance, it's called the Ivalice Chronicles. It's the same name. It's just they have like a remastered thing, so the subtitle's the same.
Well, I remember playing this game on PlayStation way back in the day.
Same game, because the Game Boy Advance
Final Fantasy Tactics.
Okay, I mean they've made several.
Yes, they've had several remakes of it. But I'm not sure what I thought the first one was PlayStation, but I could be wrong.
I think it's Game Boy Advance.
Look that up. Look it up. But anyway,
yeah, you keep talking.
I could be wrong, because I did play it on PlayStation, and it was this game. Like, it was the mechanics of this game. But anyway, I bought it. It was on sale, and I was wanting to get it for a while, so I got it on sale. And man, I'm hooked. It is so good. The job system, I remember liking it, but I didn't realize how much I liked it. It is so. I remember back in the day when I played it, I would always try to keep my characters or units in that game as like a specific job, and like, okay, this is my white mage, he's going to be a white mage. But the whole beauty of the game, and the way to get good at that game, is to mix and match and learn skills from different jobs and combine them and to make your own combination of abilities. It is it's like one of the few games I've played like a role-playing game where I just want to grind all the time. Like, I just go and do battles, unlock new skills, and kind of customize my jobs. I remember back in the day when I played it, I remember being confused by the story, because it's very like this intricate, back and forth, like political drama or whatever. Lots of betrayals and things like that. It was hard to keep up with when I was a kid, but other than that, like, it's fantastic. If you have played it before in the past, and you liked it, I would highly recommend this Switch 2 version. It's awesome.
This is fascinating. I just realized this. So I think I was playing the PlayStation game, Ivalice Chronicles. I was just confused because I play it on emulators, and I don't know what system I'm playing on sometimes. But there is a Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, which I don't know if that's a port. It's a successor.
We did research before we did an episode here.
Yeah, it's a successor, so it's like it's not a direct sequel. But yeah, I think I was playing.
So I was right.
PlayStation 1.
So I was correct. Yeah. So that game, digging into that right now, super fun.
You said
I beat Octopath Traveler 0. That game also, I really enjoyed it. I also would recommend it if you've liked Octopath Traveler games, but it made me really want to play a new game in that series, like Octopath Traveler 0, like 3 or whatever, because 1 and 2 are great. But I like a more focused adventure where it wasn't just like, you have a party of 8 guys and you have a whole town that you're managing and stuff like that. It's cool and all, but I like the original formula. I'm getting ready though for this week. Mario Wonder Switch 2 version drops on Thursday, which I'm definitely going to grab that.
Same game, but just it's optimized for Switch 2?
Yes, and also it has a multiplayer DLC called something at Meet Up at something Park.
But it was multiplayer. There was
local co-op. I think there was online co-op too, but this new one is like enhanced multiplayer where you go like a hub, kind of like
I think it's like, is it like kind of like Mario Party with a bunch of mini games and stuff? And
I mean, there's a lot of things to do in it, but I can't remember the name of it. Meet Up at something Park. But also, I'm getting that because I've been in the mood to play like just a Mario game. Like, I never played that one. I got such great reviews.
What's that one? I have one for Switch on my Switch right now. I think it's like it's
Super Mario.
It's the one that
3D.
It has 4-player. It's like it's side-scrolling 4-player. Yeah. But it's like it's not. I don't think it's Wonder. But it's
not Wonder. You showed it to me.
It's like,
but Wonder is 4-player though. And it has multiple characters. You can play as Luigi. You can play as Mario, Toad, Peach. Looks really fun. But also on Friday this week is the Marvel Maximum Collection, which is the X-Men arcade game, Captain America and the Avengers, like all these old Marvel games in a bundle. which even though I have the X-Men Captain America arcade machine in my basement, I'm still going to get this because I want to play it on my Switch. So yeah, Switch is going to be busy for the next few months, I think.
I don't know why I just thought of this. Probably, I mean, we're talking about like kind of retro video games, but there's a podcast called Game Scoop that IGN does. You ever listen to Game Scoop? It's hosted by this guy Damon Hatfield, who's he's one of the correspondents. He does like a lot of the he hosts a lot of video stuff for IGN if you watch their YouTube channel. But he's also like he's a musician. He does a lot of like, you know, side project music stuff. It's just really good. But I follow Game Scoop a lot, and they do this thing called Video Game 20 Questions, and like people submit like a recommendation for him to Damon for his guests to like ask questions and guess what game he's thinking of. And it's really entertaining to watch because the guests are usually really good at narrowing these games down. It's stuff I would never think of. But they did this one last week, and it was the game was RPG Maker, and I was so frustrated because all of the questions were circling around this. Like they're like what is this game? Like, what do you mean it can be a series if you want it to be? Blah blah. I'm like, dude, it's RPG Maker. It's easy. But nobody even thought to ask that. Like, you know, a simple question: is it a custom game? Or I don't even know how you would ask that really. But anyway, the reason I bring that up is because I sent Damon a box of Relic Myers books because he's a musician. I was like, oh man, he's like our generation. He talks about the same types of games I like. He's a horror fan. I got to send him this. So I boxed up some Relic Myers books, and I put a little letter in there to him to give him a suggestion for 20 questions. And I doubt anyone on that show listens to this, so it's fine to talk about. But
dude, everybody listens to this.
I suggested him to give the team Blaster Master 02 because not only is it kind of obscure, but it's like it's a reboot, but it's like the second of a trilogy, so it's like a very specific title. So it's like I don't think they're gonna get that one, but I had a good little story about why I introduced that, because like Oliver only plays Minecraft. He never wants to like engage with video games with me. He doesn't want to play my kind of games, but for some reason Blaster Master 0 was always like the game he could like get excited about.
You said Oliver, like people know who that is.
Yeah, I've mentioned Oliver before. My son Oliver.
Not everybody listens to every episode. So, yeah, we got first time listeners here today.
Well, it's like that comic book thing wherever somebody references something from a previous issue, it pops up. I'll have to edit it where it's like a little comic book pop up box. Oliver is Brady's son.
Just falling off that medicine or the exercise ball or whatever. Yeah. So this is not video game related, but it's kind of like adjacent. It's technical. It's technology. This is not a tech podcast. But
how do you feel about technology?
Years ago. When I first got into coding, like I was in a software development boot camp, I bought a MacBook Pro so I could do a iOS app development. And shortly after the boot camp, I got a job as a developer, and I had to buy my own computer because it was a startup company. So I bought an iMac, and so I had this iMac, which I never touched my MacBook anymore because I was on my iMac all the time. So eventually, we were working on some game design contract. And
Street Masters.
Was it Street Masters?
I think it was Street Masters.
No, I mean it was like a combination. We were wrapping up some contracts, and I was busy at work, so I was like not putting in the effort that I needed to put in. Brady was carrying the end of his contracts, and so like to make up for the fact that I was just like being lazy, I just decided to give him this laptop as like payment. Like, well, so we got paid for this contract. Here, you've earned a laptop.
Wasn't worth it. Wasn't worth what I did.
Dude, you use it all the time for.
No, I love the laptop. I'm saying that like what's this cost?
You don't.
This is under $1,000, right?
It's like $2,500, man.
$2,500.
It's a MacBook Pro, dude.
I play frisbee with this down here.
This is like top of the line back then, man. This is a nice computer.
The camera sucks. Remember, the camera was terrible.
It didn't suck. It just wasn't great. And also this thing right here, that I forget what they call that. The bar, the status bar. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what they called it, but it sucked. And
this thing right here.
Yeah, it's got like functions and stuff on it. But anyway,
why do I have to set it? Why isn't it coming up?
You might.
Oh, okay.
Just touch it.
What'd you do?
I don't know what I did. It's closed. So there's controls on it. But anyway, I gave it to him, and I just didn't really need a laptop. I always use my iPad or whatever. Anyway, fast forward to today. As we're doing our own company stuff, there's a lot of times where emailing factory late at night, or they email me and I want to get back to them, and I don't like using my phone. So I've been like, I don't want to go to my office. I wish I had a computer in my bed. I use my iPad, but I still wanted a laptop where I could do more things. And then I saw this ad that Apple just put out of the MacBook Neo, which, if you're not familiar with this is the new MacBook, like the entry-level MacBook, and it's like, I think the retail price is like $600, but $700 for the upgraded version with the 512 hard drive and Touch ID. This thing is, I have it right here, actually. This right here, this little thing comes in multiple colors. I got the indigo one. I watched a lot of reviews about this before buying it, but it was like super cheap, and I love Macs, so I was like, you know what? I got my tax return, and we're getting paid. I got a bonus at work, so I'm like, this is a good time to maybe get a laptop, but not go MacBook Pro with it and just get something entry level, because I really just want this for browser stuff, some graphic design work, minor, but mainly just emails and browser stuff. So this is totally. I was like, this could totally do it. I was watching reviews, and everybody was blown away by it. This thing has an iPhone chip in it, an A18, I think, A18 Pro, or is it A16? I'm not sure. But it's an iPhone chip, and only has 8 gigs of RAM. So anybody who's a computer guy might be like, 8 gigs is nothing these days. This thing blows me away. Like, it is made of aluminum. It's got this nice keyboard, the MacBook Pro keyboard. It feels great, runs smooth. I was like running Affinity in it, doing graphic design work, very quick. And I could not recommend this enough. If you are looking for a new laptop, like maybe for a student or something, my God, this is quality product. It's gonna pretty much put any other starter laptop to shame.
And if you are with Apple and you would like to sponsor us, you can take that. Because I want one of these too. The problem is like you were stoked on this thing, and it looks great. I want one, even though I have this. Obviously, I don't use this much outside of the studio down here. I'm gonna have to though, because after you talking so much about that, and because you told me the new iMacs come in like a color that matches this table, like this.
They always did though. Even when I bought mine,
I don't ever seen that. Anyway, like I've always been kind of on the fence, because like the only reason I have a PC originally was for video games, like for doing PC gaming.
Yes.
Even though like I don't like being at the computer to game, so like I was sitting there thinking when Adam's talking about
when you say PC, you mean a Windows computer?
Yeah.
Did you say Windows?
Well, I said PC.
Yeah.
But Macs.
There's also
Macs are not considered PCs by a lot of people. So
yes, but I'm just saying Windows PC is what you mean. Like you're using Windows for gaming.
Anyway, I was like never really considering why I was still on Windows, because I love Mac too. I have an iPhone, got an iPad, I got my MacBook Pro now. So after he got this and was kind of going nuts about it, I looked at the iMacs 24, right? They're iMac 24 is what they are now. And I got a big beefy one. I put everything upgraded in it, whatever the stats. I forget what the stats were.
He doesn't even care.
I don't even know what numbers
it was green.
Like, it was green.
But you did get the trackpad, right?
I got
not the mouse.
Yeah, the trackpad and all the upgraded RAM and too much stuff probably. So
I will say the only thing about my iMac that I had to get used to was just having one monitor, but I feel like I can do everything I can with one monitor. You can.
I bought a green stand for this, the green that matches it's like
be green.
Well, no, because the company that makes it matches it to the iMacs, because like they're trying to sell it to her. So it's like an iMac specific laptop. So this will be, because I read that iMacs. I'm new to this because I don't have like an iMac, computer, but I will now. You can use your iPad and your like Apple Pencil like as a secondary input, so I can like sit there and draw on my computer using this, and then I can also have my trackpad move the mouse from the PC to the laptop. I can drag files from my iMac to my MacBook Pro, so it'll make like editing podcast and all this stuff. Usually I have to go through like Dropbox or what's the Mac one? Share iCloud, yeah, iCloud. But now I can just like literally just drag from my laptop to there. So like I'm stoked to I'm getting it like probably when this episode drops. I'll probably have my new iMac set up. But
thanks to taxes,
thanks to taxes.
Thanks for tax returns. Now, I will say we kind of lucked out with how we started this company at that time, where we could kind of basically not have a huge year of taxes, like just half a year worth of taxes, and get a CPA to help us out doing that. But luckily, we can start doing all of our professional freelance stuff through the company now, which makes taxes a lot easier on the personal side. So this last year was still rough, but next year's tax returns will be a lot easier. So
taxes. It was funny because my son yesterday, I was cutting his fingernails outside because he doesn't want to cut his own, and I keep telling him, I give him the whole lecture like, you got to do this yourself someday. And I guess that got him thinking about like being an adult, and then he's like kind of moaning. He goes, I am so terrified of becoming a grown-up. And he paused and he goes, because of taxes. And like he's 10 years old. I have no idea where he thought of taxes, but like apparently he thought that like no matter what job you had to pay a specific amount of taxes no matter who you were. And I'm like, no, it's not that easy, man. Like you'll
I mean, it's kind of you kind of
no, I mean you have to pay taxes, but like he thought it's like he was pretty much going to be, I don't know, it's hard to explain. Like the way he was thinking about it made sense to me, but it wasn't the reality. So I had to kind of explain to him how that works. I'm not sure what got into his head about, maybe he saw too many commercials on YouTube or something about tax returns, but I was like, yeah, you're right to be worried, man. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Do we have any listener questions? I forget.
I doubt it.
I'll check.
I doubt it.
I'll pull it up real quick. We are coming up on our 15 minutes, 45 minutes. If we don't have any listener questions, we can talk about the awesome.
Not.
We don't?
We do not have any listener
You're
questions.
Positive.
When there's nothing in the listener question channel of the Discord.
Yeah, look at this. Right here.
What? Is that?
Yeah. So here we go. We got several. I don't know what you're talking
about. Wait, whoa. Why isn't it like not lighting up for me?
Because they're from March 8th and March 10th.
Oh, okay. I was looking for it today. I already read these. Okay, so I will. Yeah. Do you want to read them or do you want me to?
Go for it. Yeah, you can peruse them.
So yeah, I already read these. That's why like they're not new for me. But anyway,
old news.
I remember supporting Myth and Goal. In the meantime, I got into Blood Bowl, but it feels like so long to play a round of it. Is there a way you're going to come back with Myth and Goal in some other form? And if so, what do you do? What would you do differently compared to other games like Blood Bowl this time around? E.g., making it interesting enough to compete with Blood Bowl in terms of fun, but still having a much shorter game. By the way, this is from Defeu.
Is it French?
Yeah, Defeu. So that's a great question. Come back to Myth and Goal? Unfortunately, no, because someone else owns it. I believe that is Colossal, right?
Or Kess, because there's like a lot of cross-pollination, I think. But
somebody bought it from Blacklist, which was not us. If we did... So Myth and Goal was originally... I think it was a flawed approach, because originally I wanted to make a game where we could offer like cheap plastic Blood Bowl miniatures. People could use for Blood Bowl. No, like it's just not pre-assembled.
I like the word cheap,
but affordable. Usable for Blood Bowl, but also usable in our own game, which was going to be a standee game, a football game that uses the same kind of team structure as Blood Bowl. I worked with James Hewitt. I kind of convinced him to take the project on, even though he was kind of like, okay, I've done enough football games, but he was, happy to be a part of it, and he also did a fantastic job. Like the game was really cool. I wish we could have done it justice, but
and I remember, I think I might have my like facts wrong here, but the Kickstarter funded, but it still got canceled.
Yeah, it wasn't funded enough for Blacklist, money or whatever.
This is why we have such a skewed viewpoint of these like funding goals.
I was so mad because I wanted it. I wanted that game. But this was like, I think this was to the point where we like started seeing like there was something going on where like, okay, this is not going the way we think it's going to go. Like something's happening with the company. Maybe we should figure this out. But like that was a bad time. But anyway, that game, if we were doing a sports game, I do think it'd be fun, but I think we would do kind of like an original sports game. It wouldn't be like kind of trying to toe the line between Blood Bowl and our own thing. It would just be totally our own thing.
Yeah, I felt kind of removed from that process because I was not the big diehard Blood Bowl fan. Like I like Blood Bowl. Every time we play Blood Bowl, we have fun. Like it's like a fun game. I just don't feel compelled to like get into the hobby of it. Like I don't really think about it outside of playing the game. I like how there's halflings in there, great. But so like I don't think about ways to make that work. But even when we were doing Myth and Goal, I was trying to help it move along the way, but like I just felt kind of weird because like why are we targeting such like a diehard? Because like Blood Bowl was already very popular, like it had a big community. So it's like, why are we trying to like pull some of these people out of that community?
It was super flawed because there's also like tons and tons of third party like miniatures companies that produce like really cool miniatures specifically for Blood Bowl. So like doing some generic, this will work for Blood Bowl, but it's just not cool. It wasn't exciting. So we should have just done our own sports game and not tried to like do that, try to pull in Blood Bowl players because they like Blood Bowl. They're not looking for anything else. They love Blood Bowl. Even Dreadball, like Dreadball is doing pretty well. It's on Kickstarter right now, All Stars. But there are people that like, they might like it, but they already have Blood Bowl. So they're not going to go looking for something else. Yeah. I will say I am backing Dreadball All Stars. It looks like a cool product. However, when I launched, I was like, there's too much stuff. Like, I just want
whenever
the game,
whenever they have to break out a chart and tell you like what you get for which pledge, and it's like, don't.
It's like it's doing well for them, so great. Congratulations to Mantic. But like, I was really hoping it was just going to be like, here's a game, and maybe here's an expansion, and that's it. But there's like neoprene mats and dice and cards and Kickstarter exclusive team, which. The big pledge level comes with that one, and luckily I don't really care about that team. Unfortunately, I don't really care about any of the teams in the game. They don't really appeal to me that much. Yeah, but the game does appeal to me, so I'm excited to get it. But to answer your question, we would do something different, as in like do our own thing. We would try to come up with our own sports game and make it cool. Like I would want to do something like Running Man themed or whatever, where it's kind of like bring that professional wrestling feel with these crazy characters. But
we had that funny idea about like it was almost like
baseball.
It was baseball, but it had like a very high. It wasn't like baseball's very turn based. You pitch.
It was kind of like that lacrosse, but baseball. You run on the field throwing the ball.
Like the Americana of baseball, but like a more active sport that was like high energy and. Anyway, Ryan's got some questions, right?
Great question. Yes, but also another follow-up is if Blood Bowl does take a long time, and if you haven't yet, I would highly recommend checking out Blitz Bowl. It's a fantastically quick playing game.
I like that game.
It's really fun, really easy to play, hits the table all the time, and if you get I think it's the second edition, it's the newest version of it. I think it's second edition, Ultimate Edition second or something. I don't know what it is, but it's got all the team cards in the box, so you can basically buy that. It comes with 2 teams, but you can use any Blood Bowl team in that game. Get it at Barnes & Noble. It's exclusive to Barnes & Noble, but it's really awesome. Can't recommend that one enough. Anyway, Blackheart Paladin says, after listening to the newest podcast, a few questions popped in my head. Let's do these one at a time here. He's got 3. Number 1, you guys are talking about Arydia again, and I wondered if it's a game you guys would say should be on everyone's game shelf. I also backed Stonesaga. I haven't actually played it yet, and Adam's description of some of the mini games already makes me think it's not going to be what I'm looking for. So thinking I may need to start my hunt with Arydia again. I would say if you don't have Arydia, I would suggest you get it, because
it's hard to say that it's like it belongs on everyone's shelf, but like if you are a person that really loves classic fantasy, like really just traditional D&D fantasy with a bit of charm in it.
That's not even that important though.
It's not. No, I'm just saying like the game is by itself phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I'm saying like if you because like for me a lot of times it comes down to theme, and like I wanted that theme so bad, and that game happened to be amazing as well. So
yeah, I was gonna say that for mechanic purposes, like if you have wanted a game like Gloomhaven, like you want to have an experience like Gloomhaven, but you don't want it to be just purely combat,
just
like
combat,
a combat, because all Gloomhaven is combat. Like you go to a dungeon, you fight the combat, you go back to town, do some events, you go do a combat. So Arydia is more of like it feels more like a role playing game. It's not a role playing game. You can't do whatever you want, but you can do a lot of different things. You can choose where you go. If I want to go to town, I want to go explore over here, I want to go do this quest. We heard this story over here. Like there is very structured role-playing elements, and it is just very fun. Like I still think today, after playing games and whatever, it's still the best tabletop experience I've ever had.
Yeah, I opened the box the other day because I was looking at my game shelf thinking like I want to play something, I want to play a game, I got some time. I pulled that off the shelf just to look at it, and it's like unboxing that, because I haven't thought about it in a while, but when I opened the box, I'm like, God, this game is just like so iconic. It's so good. But like what you mentioned, I think is a good comparison. If you imagine Gloomhaven is kind of like Diablo in a way, because like Diablo is just like combat. You're just like doing all this combat, a lot of like cool builds you can do, but like that's what Gloomhaven is. I feel like Arydia is more like Baldur's Gate 3, where it's like Baldur's Gate 3 you can do so much stuff. You got like all kinds of,
there's still a lot of combat,
yeah, there's good combat, because like I think Arydia's combat is cool. It's not like Arydia's combat's not going to bring you to the show, but like it's serviceable. It's like it's fun, and it has its high moments, but like in reality the reason you play Arydia is just for the immersion, like just the world. It's like
the experience.
Yeah.
Like I mean the game is not perfect, obviously. There are things that I don't like about it, but it doesn't change the fact that it is the best experience I've ever had at the tabletop.
Yeah.
So I don't think the combat is like, I think the combat would have been better without the wounding spots or whatever. Like I feel like that's just a little bit tedious sometimes. But
I wouldn't say tedious, but like it doesn't feel necessary to convey. Like
it can be tedious when you're like, oh, let's fight some rats, let's set all this stuff up, but you're just gonna kill these rats. So like, there can be some tedium, and also one of the biggest flaws, obviously, is that we don't really feel the need to play it again.
Yeah, you play through the story.
I would play it again if like my daughter said, I want to play this game. I'd be like, yeah, I'll run you through the game and I'll have a blast doing it. But I'm not going to play by myself, and I'm not going to play with the same group we already played it with.
Yeah. Because
I mean, yes, we can change characters and stuff like that, but it's not the same. Like
the game is not designed to be linear, but if you know what the game is, then going into it again, it's going to feel linear because like there's like several paths that you already see. Like right when you set up, you'll know like, okay, if I go over there, I know what happens. So so it's like
it can still be fun probably, but like it's not the same. There's a sense of discovery in the game that you can't replace. The cool thing is the game is completely resettable. Yeah. So like after you're done, you can set it back up to play again. But I'm not going to recommend people to say this game is going to be your lifetime go-to game where you're always going to play it for the rest of your life.
Unless they start making new content for it.
That'd be awesome. If they expand it, sure. But I would assume it would just be a whole new box.
Yeah. That's the downside is like, I wish that game was more structured in a way where you could like introduce a roguelike, variant or something that would like let you be able to use the stuff. But I feel like if they make another game, it's going to be just a whole new box.
It should, honestly.
Yeah, which I would buy.
Everything is so integrated. Like you could, find a way to edit, customize it, but it'd be a lot of work up front. But anyway,
I'm sure they'd probably make it cross compatible in a way, but it'd still be
for the price. Like it's totally worth it. Like if you play through the whole thing, that's a ton of game. And even if you never play it again, like I never have, it's still gonna stay on my shelf. I'm not gonna sell it.
Yeah, I will admit, opening it up, like looking at it, it just reminds you of all the cool stuff you did. So.
I will admit, I bought 2 copies of it though because I thought we were gonna run 2 different games, and eventually we didn't. So I ended up selling it to an old friend of ours, and hopefully Dustin's actually played it because
it's such worth it. I want to play it again. Already talking about it.
So yeah, I do feel like it should get on your shelf. But again, that's with caveat where it's that's just our opinion.
And if you have a D&D group and they want to take a break from D&D, that's a perfect type of game to do it because it feels like you're playing a D&D campaign.
This is for Brady. How do you think Twin Tales workload is going to affect your writing schedule?
It's blown it up. It's weird because anybody who follows me on any of my social media platforms hears me talk about like my writing process or my my eccentricities when it comes to writing. A lot of my books have been written in a kind of breakneck pace where I'll take a month and I'm like, I'm gonna draft a book in a month because I have such weird ADHD, undiagnosed ADHD, where if I don't focus on something like very dramatically, I just won't get it done. I'll just it'll drag out. My first book I wrote, Eve of Corruption, took me like 5 years to write because I just kept dragging my feet. So because we have so many things to do, like marketing and solicitation and stuff like that, I think it does affect my writing habits. Like I think normally I'd be done with Relic Myers book 3, but with Twin Tales, I'm only like into chapter 2 right now. So like I'm taking my time. I still feel like I'll be done with the draft of Relic Myers 3 before our birthday, like before end of May. I'm aiming to have it done well before the end of May, but that's like my kind of safety net is like if I can get it done by then, it's fine. But I think like once things are less like uncertain, it'll be easier to kind of have a routine. Right now, my routine's kind of shot because I'm just kind of living on the edge of my seat with a lot of stuff, and this Kickstarter is the primary thing we need to focus on. So it's very distracting. But in the long term, I hope it doesn't affect it too much because I feel like if Twin Tales gets more success, I think it'll buy me more time to write. So
this is kind of a follow up to that. He says, I know you said Relic 3 is next up, which I'm super stoked to hear since I think Relic is my favorite series. Just barely beats Malice. But have there been talks about a Ransom Creek 2?
Yeah. Ransom Creek 2 comes up a lot because it's very tied into the Relic Myers universe. So without giving spoilers, obviously, in Relic Myers 3, there's a lot of references to Ransom Creek remains. So the Ransom Creek sequel is going to be it's going to be kind of a lead into the Brook City reboot. So we do plan on doing a Brook City refresh, whether it's like a sequel, second edition. We're not sure how we're going to like position that, but we're going to have like a new Brook City, and that's like the Avery and Rain are going to be kind of like the heralds of the New Brook City. So we'll have more details on that. But yeah, that's in discussions. That I'm excited about it because Ransom Creek Remains is probably one of my more accessible books. Like I've had a lot of people come up to me from like, in-laws and just family members who pick up the book. I mean, Paul actually read it. I don't know if he liked it, but he actually read it.
I think if you put like a tabletop with a stained napkin or something, it probably would have got more interest.
A tabletop with a stained napkin,
like for the cover. Just a
very because
just something really boring.
People love their boring.
I do think that the cover probably turns people off. They think
I'm sure, like we could probably commission a cover for it. I personally like it. Like to me, it speaks to what the story is. But I get that.
I like the composition. I don't necessarily like the artwork that much. The style isn't what I think that it could be a different, still a darker style.
Yeah,
probably,
I mean, never judge a book by its cover, man.
Done.
I always judge a book by its cover. Look at these things. Look at this Ellie's cover. Judge that. Go get it. Anyway, we're on an hour now, and that's all our questions, right? So we can
we're
wrap
good
up for today. But
we'll stop there. I'm gonna go take a walk back to my house in this 80-degree heat.
Yeah, but
84 degrees outside.
Just to recap, sign up for our newsletter, get your free book.
Follow the Kickstarter,
get your free books on day one launch, and then get your game so we can get this thing out there to everybody.
You're probably already following the Kickstarter. If you're watching this, get somebody else to follow the Kickstarter.
A pyramid scheme. If everybody who's following gets somebody else to follow, we're gonna like triple our numbers. So. And you'll benefit because you'll be like, hey, I'm on a successful Kickstarter.
That's how it works.
That's how it works. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you on launch day probably, right?
Have a great week.
April 7th. See ya.